Alright. This is the beginning of the Andy video. Andy from Southtown, brother to Terry, has a bit of a Luigi complex, or does he? Does Terry get more notoriety? Is Andy jealous? Does he jump higher? Does he have a vacuum called the Poltergust? It's alright, I'll stop. So, the Andy video here, let me go ahead and explain what makes Andy good. Let's see. Andy is a multifaceted character, as most characters are. He has a handful of simple game plans that he can use. He doesn't have the longest range in the game on a lot of his things. However, he does have one of the better fireballs. It has a good height and a good speed on it. You can follow it in, just like some of the other characters. I will provide a document in the description that helps you think about how to use his fireballs. But using a combination of his fireball zoning game, his fast run speed, his cross-up and normal throw pressure, and the combos off of this special move right here, especially when broken, the Kuhadan break. Break as in, stop. Okay, that's what we call it, the break. The combos off of this, when you combine it with everything else, give him good damage output and good, like with his EX moves, he has lots of different ways to control the screen. He's got EX Fireball. I mean, I'll get into it the more I go, but Andy is a very general character, okay? Andy is one of the characters I recommend for beginners. He covers a lot of simple concepts. A lot of his things are punishable, so you don't like overuse some of his specials. I'll go more into what we're talking about here. So let's start with his ground normals. His ground normals are pretty run-of-the-mill. There's nothing incredibly amazing about them. His standing A is fairly standard. Standing B doesn't really go anywhere, isn't low or anything special. Standing C has some decent range on it. I mean, of your standing normals, yeah. Of your standing normals, hard kick has like the most range. Well, it would have the most range if it wasn't CD. Standing CD has the highest range. Just like every other standing CD in the game, it is cancelable on hit or block. So you can use the standing CD. One of the really good things you can do with this standing CD is you can cancel, if you space it so that just the tip of it connects, you can cancel it to a light elbow, and on hit you just get closer, but on block the elbow doesn't connect. And this is important because the elbow is actually unsafe on block, so you can actually use that to close the gap a little bit. You just need to be doing the standing CD at the right spot. It's common for Luis Cha and some other good Andy players to actually use this when the opponent is cornered so that this is easier to space. Okay? Remember, it needs to be the light elbow, and you need to be at the tip of the standing CD range. Oh, missed it. There we go, just like that. But other than that, his grounded normals don't have a lot of interesting uses. The standing C is cancelable, so you could do something like this. You know, if you really wanted to hit with that, but there's really nothing amazing about his standing normals. His standing B, though, does have a target combo on it. His standing light kick, you can hit a hard kick afterwards, and you get this little two-hit target combo. And that second hit is cancelable, so you do have lots of options for what you can do on it. And as far as that target combo goes, I won't use it too much in combos. Usually speaking, other combos have better damage, but what the target combo is good at is that standing hard kick does have a lot of hit stun on it, so it is a really, really good and easy HD confirm if you were to do something like that. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself going into HD a little early, but that target combo, I personally don't use it a lot. Luis Cha uses it a bit more than I do, but he's a smarter player. So feel free to watch videos of other Andy players and see how they use the target. Personally, I don't use it a whole lot, but you might have a better use for it. Okay, so that's the ground normals. Now crouching, his crouching A is fairly run-of-the-mill. Crouching B, again, run of the mill. These do chain and into each other. I think if I do this perfect. Nah, that's not gonna work. You can absolutely chain them into each other. The crouching C is kind of slow, but it does hit right in front of that spot where crouching B missed. It has just a slightly longer hitbox than crouching B. Oh, too far. There we go. It's just a hair. It's useful for some crouching frame traps like this. If they try to hit a button after those two crouching light kicks, that crouching C might connect. It is cancelable as well. So you could, you know, off of a jump in, you know, do crouching C for a one hit, you know, nice amount of damage. His crouching D is, this is one of the better crouching hard kicks in the game. Because it comes upward at an angle, it actually has a handful of good anti-air purposes here. The thing is, if you're at the right spot, this actually is a pretty feasible anti-air. But make sure you time it right, because I'm obviously not right now. There you go. If you actually time this right, it is a really good anti-air, quite honestly. You just need to make sure that whatever spacing you do it at, that you're not you know, liable to get jumped in on, like for a good angle attack. But it's because it comes up off the ground and has an upward angle, those make it a good anti-air. It's very useful in parts of your fireball zoning game plan, like if you're at this distance and they try to super jump, you can actually use that crouching D to anti-air them, especially if they jump too late. So, you know, that's one of its uses. Of course, just like other characters, you can use it like after a crouching string to try to keep them blocking. You know, just don't overuse it. Not cancelable though, so just keep that in mind. As far as the jumping normals go, jumping A, nothing really to write home about. Jumping B, jumping D, jumping light kick, jumping B for boy. Jumping B is probably one of his better air-to-airs. This is probably one area where Andy doesn't superbly excel in. He doesn't have any jumping normals that are terribly active. His most active jumping normal is probably his jumping light punch, but it doesn't have a lot of distance on it. I'll use jumping light kick as an air-to-air, especially if I'm neutral jumping. But jumping hard kick also fits the bill. Even though it has a downward angle, it's not terribly steep, so jumping hard kick also functions pretty well as air-to-air. Jumping C is really quick, but it is your highest damage jump in. You'll want to use it occasionally for air-to-ground. His jumping CD, though, like some other jumping attacks in the game, it does hit at multiple areas, okay? It does hit horizontally in front of him, so if you time this right, it is a good air-to-air, but it is in front of you only a couple frames. It's very fast. It's almost as fast as some of Billy's jumping CD. It's only there for like a frame or two. It's very, very fast, so you need to time that right. But also, it is also hitting when your Andy sprite looks like this, with that leg that's coming down. Let's see if I can get it to work here. Nope, too early. There we go. It is hitting when the leg comes down. So it is hitting at two different spots. It hits air-to-air, and then it hits air-to-ground. Being that it is a CD, it will cause a knockdown on hit, and it will give you a lot of block stun on block. It's not an overhead, just like all the other jump CDs. So, with Andy, he does have a handful of useful jumping normals. You will want to alternate between light kick, hard kick, and CD. Those are usually going to be his best jump-ins in most situations, but there are some cases where A and C might be useful, but you're going to be using light kick, hard kick, and CD, which are all kicks, ironically, most of the time. Okay, now he also has forward A as a command normal. By itself, it's not terribly useful. Okay, it's kind of a slow poke, but it is cancelable. What you can use this for is your basic confirm is going to be with Andy. Close hard punch into forward light punch. Okay. Now I actually did not go over his close normals, and that is a mistake. Let me make sure I get his close normals, because his close C and his close D both serve a purpose, okay? His close hard punch actually hits twice. Okay? Similar to King's close hard kick, similar to Leona's close hard kick. This actually hits twice, and if you are point blank, you can get the forward A afterwards for a 3-hit confirm into whatever special or something you like. But if you're not point blank, you will miss the forward A. Okay? Okay? You need to be like it's point blank or like just a pixel out in order to get that forward A. If you're more than like a pixel or 2 out, you'll get both hits of close C, but you won't get the forward A. So if you do want the forward A, you are advised to not let the second hit of close C come out, because you're not exactly certain if you'll always be point blank. You're never really going to know, especially if you're running up to someone. There is a big range where you can get a close range normal. This will still give me close C. So if you stop it at the first hit, let's see. I'm pretty sure there is no range where you can get close C and not get forward A if you stop it at 1 hit. So if you just stop at 1 hit, you will always get that forward A, which is going to be good for various things like confirms into HD combos, or just other combos in general. Forward A is also cancelable, so you could, cancel the fireballs, be safe. Forward A is what you're going to be using in a lot of your strings. Whether or not it hits or not, you're going to use close C forward A as a basic confirmation string a lot of the time. Let's see, now close hard kick. You can also go to forward A, but just like with close C, you do need to be very close for this to actually work. Plus, there's actually a range where it'll trigger, but it will whiff. So you need to be very careful of this range. Now what you will notice is he does sort of a split kick and kicks really high. This is very useful for a very specific purpose. If your opponent is trying to, say, jump over your head, especially if you're in the corner, this is a very, very good anti-air because of how high it hits and how fast it is. This is one of his fastest normals. It's not as fast as his close fierce, but it is pretty damn fast. And with that in mind, you can use it as a very good vertical anti-air. Now, his close C only hits in front of him, and so it's not good vertically. Okay? But his close hard kick, because it hits so high, it works really well as a close anti-air, especially. Let's see. Let me record this mid-screen here. There we go. Okay. It's especially good in the corner when someone tries to jump at you, because you won't accidentally miss by walking backwards or anything. However, mid-screen it is still very functional, assuming they jump at you at the wrong time. But it's a very, very good vertical anti-air, so just keep that in mind. Okay, now, back to the command normal though. I more or less expounded on this normal's use. Bad by itself, but good in strings, both on block and on hit. Okay. Now, his normal throw. Hakai Kominage. I can't pronounce it! Okay. Now let's turn on the passive move. Remember that the passive move is what determines if they can recover. If the passive move is on, they will do a tech roll if it is possible. Now notice when I normal throw Andy here, he can't do the quick recovery. Okay? He cannot do the quick recovery, so this allows you to set up a mix-up here. Okay? And in Andy's case, his jumping hard kick does cross up. So if you time this jump right, and you jump at the right spot, you absolutely can cross somebody up, or you could go for a fake cross-up, say with hard punch or something. Okay? And don't forget about other mix-ups like empty jump low. Okay? There's plenty of things for you to do with this mix-up. Don't forget about run up to hyper hop distance and then hyper hop. Depending on where you hyper hop and if they stand up or not, that is a perfectly legitimate mix-up. Especially when you add empty jump mix-ups. I will cover empty jump mix-ups more in general in other videos, but off Andy's throw, you get mix-ups, so make sure you are using them, okay? Now, go ahead and going into his special moves. His first special move is the elbow. Zanikin. Okay? The motion for this move is really just two directions. Down, back, forward. Okay? If you're having trouble with hitting down, back, and then forward, know that there's a handful of different ways you can actually do this move. You could start from down, back, and then do a quarter forward, okay? That's one way you can do it. Another way you could do it is from down, back. Just go to back and then hit forward. This will be easier for you if you're playing on a stick. Okay, because you'll be able to come across really easily. I know that some of you on a control pad will have trouble hitting left and right quickly, but this is advised for people who have arcade sticks who are able to do this. And plus, not to mention, you don't even have to do down, back, back. You could just do a quarterback. Quarterback forward will still give this to you. Okay. Okay. So keep that in mind. There are some combos where the elbow motion might seem difficult, but using one of these motions, if not the direct motion, okay, I mean, it's still pretty tough for me to do, like, just down, back to forward is pretty tough to do on a stick, especially a Sanwa stick that is very sensitive, but as long as you understand that there are multiple motions for this, you shouldn't have too much trouble pulling it off in combos. Now, the light, fierce, and EX elbows, let me go over the differences here. The light elbow easily combos from a lot of things. Excuse me. The fierce elbow can combo from some things, but you need to land a forward A. Or you need to just combo it by itself from a fierce punch or a hard kick. Or, of course, in juggles. Okay? The EX elbow, let's go ahead and turn on the display here. The EX elbow does 150 damage. When you compare it to light 60 and fierce is 80, that 150 means it will be good, especially if you can get like a bar in the corner or something, and I'll get into that. His EX elbow does do more damage, especially at the beginning of combos before the scaling sets in. Okay? Now, the elbow has an interesting use on whiff. Okay? When the elbow misses, okay, it actually recovers very, very, very fast. Because of this fast recovery, you can use it almost like a movement option. If you're far away from your opponent and you don't feel like, say, throwing fireballs or whatever, you could use an elbow to get closer. Just keep in mind that the fierce elbow goes about 60% of the screen, maybe 70, and the light elbow goes just under half screen. Okay, just under. And in fact, if you do this right, you can do 2 light elbows relatively quickly, and in fact, that's a really good idea if you ever land the standing CD like last time. Because, oops, screwing it up. Because even if they quick recover, you still get there before they do. And you can use that to rush down. Okay? The fierce elbow is a little tougher to control because of the extra distance, but you can use it for a similar purpose. The EX elbow goes just under full screen, but because it costs a bar, it's less advisable to use it as a movement option. You generally want to make sure that you combo into it whenever possible. Now, next you'll want to know how these are on block. The light elbow is punishable. Notice that the other Andy jumped way before I did, okay? If you do a string into a light elbow, most characters will have some sort of quick punish that they can use to actually punish the light elbow, so make sure you don't overuse it, okay? If you have been getting into the habit of canceling into elbow in your strings, I recommend canceling into a light fireball instead, okay? The fierce elbow is even worse on block. It's even worse. Okay? It's even more negative, so they're both punishable. Don't use light or fierce elbow if you think it's going to be blocked. The EX elbow, though, is only -2, -3. I forget exactly, but don't forget I'm posting the link to the available frame data for KOF13 in the video description of every video, so you can look up the frame data. Pretty sure this is -2 or -3. I think it's -3. This may be punishable by some characters, but the vast majority will not be able to punish it, or a lot of players won't be able to react fast enough. The EX elbow is, I would call, semi-safe, okay? And you can use this semi-safety to try to trick your opponent into eating like an uppercut or something else, okay? But still, it is negative on block, so you still want to avoid using it, In a nutshell, don't use his elbows if you think they're going to be blocked. Either use them to move around, or use them as a surprise full-screen poke that you think they might not block, or use it in combos. Now, Kuhadan. Half circle forward kick. Okay. What this move is you fling your body at your opponent's feet first. The hard kick version has a higher angle. And the EX version, let's see where this goes. You're standing at the H in fighters, or the T. The EX version goes a little bit less distance than the light one, actually. But these each serve, I mean, you can combo into it. Let's get this combo to go off here. You can combo into it if they're near the corner, or even if they're not, it's possible for you to combo off of this. Oop, wrong one. Nope, not even that works. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna have to be in the corner unless you EX, maybe. Yeah, not even EX. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. The Kuhadan by itself, you really don't use a whole lot. It's not that great. The one purpose it does have, if you look at Andy's guard gauge here, it's decent if they block it as far as destroying the guard gauge. However, the EX version is the best at this. Look at that. Shades of Takuma's EX quarter forward kicks. If you just do close fierce, both hits into this, that's about half the guard gauge of most characters, okay? Okay, so if they're down to half a guard gauge, you can throw this out and you can try to go ahead and break their guard with it. It's going to cost you a bar. It is somewhat obvious to see, so a higher level player will be able to guard cancel blowback or guard cancel roll to try to avoid that break. However, the thing you want to keep in mind is all three versions of this are going to be unsafe on block if they are blocked, okay? All three versions. In fact, let me just go ahead and do this here. Well, except the EX one. Wanted to catch myself before I misspoke. The EX one is 0 on block, okay? So you can throw that at your opponent, and in fact, because it is 0 on block, if they choose to guard twice, you could do something like this. Let's say you get them to block your jump in. Let's say you get them to guard your jump in and then they keep blocking and not jump like the dummy just did. And then you can go into a combo from there. I mean, obviously that wasn't the best setup, that was kind of obvious. You know, and it would really suck if you break their guard before the last hit, because then you're probably not going to get a whole lot of damage, but it is really useful for breaking their guard gauge, and that is the use that I have found that move is best for. There's also some interesting HD combos that you can use them for. But these moves without the break are overall, I'd say, pretty terrible. What the break does, though, notice it says Kuhadan break, do a Kuhadan, and then hit light kick, hard kick. You can only break, first of all, you can only break the light and hard versions, you cannot break the EX version. But all you need to do is when you input the Kuhadan, press light kick and hard kick before the kick comes out. If you press light kick and hard kick at the same time before the kick comes out, what happens is you just do a quick little forward roll, and instead of flinging yourself, you just sort of pop them in the air with your feet, okay? It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it enables a lot of combos, okay? In fact, in most cases, they enable his best combos. You need to make sure you learn how to Kuhadan break consistently, because that will be how you get your best damage and opportunities as Andy. Now, earlier I said that these without the break are unsafe. What about with the break? Well, they're still unsafe. Okay? They're still going to be, I believe, -5 on block. Okay? Doesn't matter which version it is, the opponent still recovers before you. It's a bit of a tight punish, but anyone with a 1-frame command grab is going to destroy you for this, okay? Don't use the Kuhadan break on block either. Don't use elbow on block. Don't use Kuhadan by itself on block, except EX. Don't use Kuhadan break on block. Okay, Andy doesn't have a lot of on-block special moves he's willing to do. In general, in KOF, you don't even want to cancel to a special most of the time. Just end with a crouching light kick, or end with a fierce punch forward A. Or no, just do a fierce punch and then stop. Don't do it. Don't do anything else. Don't cancel to a special, because normals will often not have as bad a frame disadvantage as special moves do. Okay? That's sort of general. It's going to depend on the character, but in Andy's case, it's absolutely true. So again, the Kuhadan break will allow your best combos, and it's also unsafe on block, so make sure you don't use it when things are getting blocked. Now, let's see. I forgot to do this for the elbow, so let's just do this quickly here. But the EX elbow is not invincible. It has no invincibility. Okay. Okay. Neither does the EX Kuhadan. No invincibility on it or on the regular one either. Okay. Just no invincibility on either of those moves. Next, a special move, 3 of 4. We've got his Fireball, his Shoken. Okay. Quarterback punch. It's a quarterback, not forward. Okay. Now, if you saw my King tutorial, you saw what I said about recovering before the Fireball gets there. Okay, on the light version, Andy can do this. Okay. And how the Fierce Fireball is really fast, and how the EX Fireball is even faster and may destroy a projectile. For the most part, this is the same as the character King. I will go over it again just in case you haven't seen the King tutorial. Okay? But the light Fireball, you recover before it gets there. Okay? Due to this nature, if the opponent jumps too late after you throw the Fireball, if they jump like right now after they see this Fireball, you can absolutely do something about that jump. You can run up an uppercut, you can try to throw something at them, maybe a Neomax or something, I'll get there. But if they try to react to the Fireball by jumping after you throw it, you almost always have something you can do. For a complete list, for a much, much deeper explanation of the post-Fireball throw game, please read the Fireball document that is the first link in the description of this video. It will give you a lot of ideas for what you can do with the Fireballs of certain characters, Andy's included, okay? But just the general things is that the light Fireball is slow and you recover quickly. The Fierce Fireball is fast, but you don't recover as fast, okay? The EX Fireball, you recover relatively quickly, but it's still not before it gets there because of how fast it is, okay? Okay, and it will also destroy weaker projectiles by going through them. Either way, it's only one hit for 120 damage. Now, and this is not invincible either. No invincibility on anything, so what does he have that's invincible? Well, glad you asked. Special move number 4, Shoryudan. Shoryuken, Shoryudan. Dan uppercut? I'll stop. This is an uppercut, and it's invincible. The hard punch version is anyway. Let me just go ahead and go over each of these individually. Okay, the light uppercut is not invincible. It's not. Okay. Okay, it is not invincible low when it starts up. It's not invincible high either. Okay, notice that trade. Okay, I think it might, that D missed. Maybe a frame. It's probably none, maybe a frame, but it's still not a viable reaction anti-air because it doesn't have invincibility. The light uppercut isn't that great. It's mostly a combo tool. The fierce uppercut is where you're going to be getting what you want out of your uppercut, okay? Go straight through stuff. In fact, just to dramatize the point, let me go ahead and throw a fireball at him. There you go. Whereas if I were to do if I were to do a light uppercut there... Wait, is that even working? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, it is. Yeah, you know what? I think that's it. I think the light uppercut has like a frame or two of invincibility, but it's not a whole lot. I must stress, it's only like a frame or two. I don't know the number, I'll have to figure it out. But it's not enough so that it's not a really great reversal, and it's not a really great anti-air, okay? Fierce is going to be the one that has the invincibility that you need, okay? It's way more invincible. Okay, now EX is even more invincible though. Okay, it is also fully invincible and it hits 5 times. Okay, he also comes up and then hits the ground again. Let's see. Okay, so you can actually drive cancel that landing. Let's see, hold on. Okay, let's see, I don't think I can combo anything off that. Let's see. Nah, not a combo. I'm still not exactly sure what you can use that drive cancel for. Somebody, educate me there. Oh, 12. If you have an idea of something you can use that drive cancel on the EX uppercut for, please let me know. Anyways, it is more invincible than Fierce, okay? And it does travel a fair bit horizontally, so you can use it almost like a surprise poke if you're feeling really, really, really risky. It reaches a little bit further than the crouching hard kick on that first hit, okay? Now, its primary use is as a wake-up move, but also it is a good reaction anti-air, especially when you are zoning with fireballs. Okay? If you have good reaction time, like a bunch of other Andy players do, you want to try to endeavor to anti-air with Fierce Uppercut when you see full jumps. Okay? A full or super jump, that's within the realm of reactability. You see someone full jump, you can be like, oh, it's a full jump. That's you just playing Street Fighter. Go ahead and do a Fierce Uppercut. That's fine. Okay? Hops will be tougher, but top level players can do it. Try to set yourself that goal. Being able to anti-air uppercut with Andy is, I would say, a little more important with Andy than with other characters, and it's because the Fierce is slower than the light, and the light isn't that great. So because his light isn't useful for anti-air like Kyo's, EX Kyo's, whose light uppercut is also good for anti-air? Ryo, Mr. Karate. There's a handful of characters where the light uppercut is useful for anti-air, but for Andy it's not. So you need to have better reaction time because of the slightly slower startup of C uppercut, the hard punch one. Otherwise, your anti-air game will suffer a little bit. But don't forget about anti-airing with neutral jump normals either. That works just fine. Don't forget about standing A either. Okay, those are all perfectly functional ideas. But if you do want to be an upper level Andy, anti-airing with a Fierce Uppercut is something you're going to want to work on. Okay? That just about covers his specials. He's pretty simple. He's got a fireball, he's got an uppercut. This is both a guard break and a combo tool, but not much else. Almost all versions of this except EX will be unsafe on block. And he's got the elbow, which is also going to be unsafe on block. And it's a matter of making sure you combo into it. That was just a quick special move review. Now, moving on, we've got his 2 supers. We've got Chorapadon. Okay, it's pretty cool looking. Okay, they both do the same amount of hits and damage between light and hard kick. Also, if you hit them low enough and they're near the corner at the end of the combo, you can combo a light uppercut afterwards. You can also combo an EX uppercut afterwards. Which I think means you can also combo something else afterwards. Hold on. Yep, Neomax. Woo! We'll get to the Elbow of Truth in just a moment. Okay. Elbow of Truth. Yeah, Tubazo knows. Alright. So, as far as the Chorapadon is concerned, In particular corner combos, you can use it to extend the juggle. Honestly, I don't see this move used a whole lot. Let's say you get a bread and butter combo here. This does 278. Even if you, let's see. If you wait a little bit so that they fall a little more, you will be able to get an extra hit. Okay, but again, if they don't fall down in the corner, that's where your combo will end. The other super is going to be better damage time. If you really want a one-bar combo in the corner, though... Wait, I gotta wait a little bit. Gotta wait a little bit. Yeah. If you do a one-bar combo in the corner, adding an elbow and doing that super, because of the light uppercut you can get at the end, will do a little more. But the other super, the fireball super, is going to be a better super to combo with mid-screen. Okay, also note that this other super here... Nope, not that. This super causes an untechable knockdown. Remember, the passive move is on. Untechable on the throw. Techable on crouching hard kick. Untechable on the super. On the fireball super. Okay? So we're sort of talking about both supers at once. Let me go back to the EX Chorepadan. The EX version of this is actually pretty decent damage when you level 2 it. When you EX the super, excuse me. Okay. Let's see. You can also use it for some interesting corner juggles. Just go to Andy's trial mode. They use it in a handful of interesting corner combos. So let's see. Okay, this super is invincible in startup. Oh. Okay, both versions are. Both the 1-bar and the 2-bar versions are. Let me just go ahead and check this real fast. Just because I'm not really sure. There we go. Yeah, it has some invincibility. Okay. Yeah, not a whole lot though. If they're yeah. Not a whole lot. So, because it doesn't have a lot of invincibility and because of its somewhat slow startup, it's not really that functional as an anti-air unless you catch them really, really, really early in the air, okay? And even if you do, depending on the angle between you, you might not get all the hits. I don't really recommend you use this for anti-air. Like, you have to time that really, really early, and it pretty much needs to be level 2 for you to actually get the hits that you're looking for. It's honestly not that great of an anti-air, but it's useful in some combos. The level 2 is useful for some damage in some bread and butter combo situations. More or less, that's it. I don't see that super in high-level play an awful lot, but you do see it sometimes. It does have its uses. Now, the Fireball super, if you notice, he starts off with a somewhat small hurt box in front of him, almost like Leona's Baltic launcher, but then it goes into a big explosion, and that explosion is actually a hitbox. Okay? It does hit from a pretty far distance away. Okay? So, even though it's a pretty terrible waste of meter, you can use this from about half screen just to discourage your opponent's jumps. In fact, if you react fast enough, you can anti-air a hop with this. Okay? If you react fast enough, you can anti-air hops with this super. That will be difficult based on your reaction time, but it is an interesting thing you can use it for. Okay? Assuming you time it early enough, it's not terribly fast on startup. Wow, look at that. But if you do time this right, they will fall into it and you will get all of the hits. Okay? It's also one of your better supers to combo into, okay? Especially in this scenario. Oops, wrong one. Okay, you can use it after a Kuhadan break for good mid-screen damage. Then use the elbows to get back in there and go back on offense, okay? You can use it even defensively. If you throw this out at this range, even if you don't expect your opponent to jump, you can use this super and your opponent can't reliably roll forward at that moment. They have to wait for it to be over before they can roll or do something to it. Again, I don't really recommend throwing supers out with almost any character, but this is one of those rare supers where, because it recovers relatively fast and it's got a pretty big hitbox that covers the hop height and the ground area and even the full jump height at certain angles, this is probably one of the supers that it is semi-feasible to throw this out. I have seen Louis Cha do this once or twice. They'll just throw it out just to keep their opponent off of them, but I must stress that this is not the best idea, but it is a use for it. Okay. And lastly, we have the Neo Max. Oh, in case you're curious, Light, 225, Fierce, 225, and not invincible. Not invincible. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Neither version is invincible. Let's see. The last thing we have is his Neomax. It's super hot. Yes. Okay, now this Neomax starts up really, really fast. This Neomax actually starts up in count them, 2 frames. Does anybody know how to say frames in Spanish? Did I just say frames? Did you say frames? Huh? Framos? No, not Framos. Come on, Tubazo. Have some culture. Frames? Frames? Whatever. It starts up in 2 frames. This gives it some certain high-level use I don't want to delve too much into. But as a character, the fact that this is 2 frames means that this can be used to punish a lot of things. This is one of the best punish moves in the game because it is so fast. And it's only 1 hit, so you're always going to get 450 if you do punish with this. Okay? What are his counter hits? I'm curious. This counter hits... Woo! In fact, it can't even counter hit. But the counter hit on... It's not possible for this to counter hit. Okay, well, I learned something new today. So you're going to get 450 if you do hit with this. Now, obviously, it costs 3 bars both drives. Just like with all the other characters, that's a big investment for just 1 packet of damage, no matter how big it is. For 3 bars in HD, most characters can get 800 or more, so why would I spend both drives and 3 bars on 450? In Andy's case, because it is a punish, and because it works at a lot of different ranges. Okay? On the ground, it goes full screen. Okay? Now when I say full screen, I don't mean all the way to infinity. I mean full screen as defined by the maximum distance between 2 characters. If they jump away here, then they'll be too slow. No, but if they jump away before the Neomax, then you won't continue traveling past that screen marker. So just make sure it's 1 screen distance. Okay? But they won't be able to jump away from this on reaction. In fact, let me go ahead and try by recording the dummy to do this. Oh, wrong way. Oh wait. Let's assume I'm not full screen. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. If you are full screen, you can jump away from this on reaction, but honestly, that'll almost never happen. Once you get good at using this move, you're gonna use it at like a mid-range, or maybe as like a reaction punish to something that was just a little bit closer than full screen, okay? But this move is very good at punishing things. I can't reiterate that enough. This is one of the Neomaxes in the game that does have a lot of use by itself. So just keep that in mind as you're studying matchups, as you're coming across situations. Is that -2 on block? If so, let it out. You can use it in a lot of situations to really screw with somebody, okay? Okay, now, it does have invincibility on startup, but I must stress that it is not a lot, okay? Once you travel about 1 character distance, okay? Once you travel the distance of about 1, maybe 1.5 characters, your invincibility is over. So they need to be in your face for that invincibility to matter. However, even though once you get to mid-screen and further, it's not 2 frames at that point, but more 3 and 4, it's still a 3-4 frame special that reaches almost full screen. So it still has utility, but it does lose its invincibility. You're not going to be able to punish a fireball unless they throw it like right in your face and you go through it. In fact, even in that case, hold on. Even in that case. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm curious. Learn something new every day, guys. And my invincibility, yep. Let's try this. Nope, never mind. Never mind. Wow, not even. Okay. In fact, I think this might be enough to say that maybe it's only attack and throw invincible. Maybe it doesn't have any projectile invincibility whatsoever. I will need more testing to actually confirm that. But it is invincible on startup. Just it looks like not to projectiles. So if they're not in your face, that invincibility usually doesn't end up factoring. Okay. Punish. HD combo ender. Here's a good one. If you land a light elbow on the ground, you can add a Neomax always. This is not a drive cancel or anything like that. This is just light elbow. As soon as I recovered, Neomax. That's all. Okay? You can add this onto almost any combo that involves a light elbow. Okay, so if you do have 3 bars, both drives, and they're at like 500 life, and you get one of these, just do this. No, not that. Just do one of these. No! Wow, I'm terrible. One more time. Easy version. There we go. Okay, yeah, but like if they have like around 500 life, you can end their life if you just do a light elbow followed by a Neomax, and so it's an interesting combo ender in that sense. Of course, just like most HD combos, it is a very good HD combo ender. You can do something like this. You know, and you're gonna get, you know, at least 225 on that Neomax. I'll cover his HD combos just a little more when we get there, but it does have a lot of use. Sorry for spending so much time on it. Last 2 things. Because of that strike invincibility, it is a very functional reaction anti-air. You see someone jump, make sure you activate just when they get to your head or shoulder level, and they die. And don't forget you can use it in the air. This is great. If you jump away from someone and you notice that they jump at you, you can come straight at them. Whoops. There we go. Well, you've seen enough examples. Also, you know what? One last note. When this does land, they are in the corner and you recover fast. Okay? You actually recover. You actually recover before the screen zooms out. Zooms back out again. See, look at this. The screen is still zoomed in, but this is the pre-jump animation. Okay? So keep that in mind. You get something. You have a corner. You have them knocked down in the corner, and you will recover before the zoom out happens. So just keep that in mind so you set yourself up for some offense post Neomax. Okay? That more or less covers Andy's special moves, his normal moves, his close normals, standing normals, jumping normals, command normals, went over all that. Now let me go ahead and get into some combos that you can use. Okay. The simplest one you're going to be using a lot of the time is 3 crouching light kicks. Okay? If this does hit, you can go ahead and go into a light elbow. Okay? That's not the only option. If your execution is really good, you could go to the punch super. Nah, it's too slow. Let's see. Off of a crouching light kick, you can also do the target combo. Okay? Just keep in mind that on the target combo, you don't get his really good combos. The really good combos, aka the Kuhadan break combos, are only possible off of a close fierce punch or off a close hard kick or off of the forward A, which is the most practical one. Okay? Kuhadan break is going to be your best damage and best setups, okay? But if you do land crouching attacks, you absolutely can capitalize on it. You could drive cancel there so that the elbow is added on if you'd like. You could EX elbow for good damage. If you do this, let's see. Let's start mid-screen here first. You can combo to a fierce elbow if you do use the target. Okay, you could do a light elbow, but the fierce elbow does do a little more damage, so using the target combo allows you to combo to the fierce elbow. Let's see. Okay. It should be said though that you can get the Kuhadan break off of the target if you only do the target. If you do a crouching light kick first, that will miss, but if you don't, then it doesn't. Okay? Now, let's get into close C and let's get into Kuhadan break. Okay? The close C forward A, you can do all the combos that I've shown thus far. Okay? But the reason you want to use close C forward A most of the time is because on the Kuhadan break you have multiple useful combo options, and let me go into those. Your highest damage is going to be Fierce Uppercut for 239. Okay? Another thing you can do if you want to spend a bar is you do get all the hits of the Punch Super. Okay? And remember, this causes an untechable knockdown, so you can do 3 light elbows and get back in their face. Okay? In addition, you can also do this. You could do a standing CD, which does decent damage and knocks down. Remember, this does knock down. You could cancel it to a light elbow, and then once you whiff, do another light elbow, and then stay on them, so that even if they quick recover, you can stay on offense. Okay? And a fourth option, and this will be important for Andy players, is a reset. After the Kuhadan break, they are in a full juggle state. Full juggle meaning that you can hit them anytime they're in the air with anything that you have. So, let's turn off the guarding, just so you can see what sort of damage and stun that Andy is capable of if you actually confuse your opponent with this mix-up. Wow, where's my break at? Ugh. Make sure you work on the break. Okay? Don't cancel low jab into Shoryudan. That's terrible. they will be able to punish you. But what you want to do is if you immediately crouching C after the break... Wow, I'm breaking too early. I'm actually breaking too early. If you immediately crouch C after the break, you can choose between light or fierce elbow. Either one will miss. Oops, missed it. Okay, and you can choose to end up on the left or right side of your opponent. That's one example of the left-right mix-up. Another one you can do is you can run up, hit a crouching jab, and then do a light elbow. Depending on their height when you hit them with the jab, you might go under, but it depends on their height. Oh, wrong one. Okay, if they're too low, you won't cross under. But if they're high enough, then you will. Okay, this is a little bit more deceiving, and in my opinion, is a tougher to see mix-up. This is one that you can practice. Okay, if you can do this, you'll have very, very good mid-screen mix-ups. If you're mid-screen with Andy, I would highly suggest either doing the standing CD into whipped elbows. You'll build meter and you'll push them towards the corner, or go for the low jab reset or the crouching C reset, whichever is easier for you, and mix them up mid-screen with that left-right, okay? Now, these are all great options. Oh, and let's say you want to spend 2 bars. You can absolutely do that. Woo! You can do that too. Don't forget about that. Okay, you can do either one that you want. Now, if they're in the corner, Andy gains some combo ability, okay? First and foremost, if you do land a light elbow, which is common, you can then do a light uppercut. This is not a drive cancel, this is just you do the special when the other one has recovered. If you need help timing this, look up my video on the buttonhole trick. Scenarios like this are what that technique were made for. Was made for, excuse my grammar. Okay, you can land a light uppercut there. If you land an EX elbow, you can land a fierce uppercut, and a fierce uppercut does do more damage, okay? If you land close C, and you go into the Kuhadan break, okay, you do have some more options. You can land 2 light elbows, followed by a light uppercut, or if you want to give it even more damage, you could do an EX elbow, and then a light elbow, and then a fierce uppercut. Keep in mind, the fierce uppercut does 125, the light only does 77. It does almost double damage, okay? If you can combo into fierce uppercut and get all the hits, then that's a good idea. This is 400 damage just for 1 bar without blinking an eye, okay? And if you add drive cancels, there's even more you can do. Okay, 396 off close C for just the drive, no bar. What if we add a bar? Oh, dropped it. Oh, dropped that one too. Wrong uppercut. Okay, you only get 1 light elbow there, okay? Oh, I must be drop combo day. Look at all the combos on the floor, T-Bowser. I'm too slow on that. There we go. Shoryudan! And this is 500 for a bar and a drive. Well, 494. If we added a jump in, it would absolutely go above 500. Okay? So Andy has extra combo ability options in the corner, okay? If you land either of the elbows or the Kuhadan break, he gets extra options, especially in HD mode as well. Using these extra options will increase your damage, so understand when they are possible in the corner so you can increase your damage appropriately. 3 different HD combos that I want to show you with Andy that you will be able to use that I would consider not terribly complicated. this is a corner-to-corner carry combo, and because Andy does gain better combo ability in the corner, this combo does 738. If you added a corner combo, even if you did a bad one, it would still do almost enough to kill. In fact, if I added another elbow, I'm pretty sure that would. 738 plus 290 is absolutely a kill. So, using this combo, if you only have 2 bars, or even if you have 3 and want to save one, you can use this combo to carry them to the corner and to set them up so that if you can get one more combo, you will be able to kill them. Now, I want to talk about this combo because there are some small areas that you need to pay attention to. Now, after you do the second break, you're going to alternate elbows. It's going to be fierce elbow break, light elbow break, fierce elbow break, light elbow break, and you're going to do those drive cancels. However, every elbow after the first needs to be slightly delayed. Okay? And let me explain that. If you do this fierce elbow too early, then you will miss, so you need to make sure you delay it. Every elbow is like that, where if you do it too early, it might miss. So make sure you are delaying every elbow after the first ever so slightly in this combo. But if you do delay it too long, it will still also miss. Okay? If you hit them too late with the elbow, that break might not work after you drive cancel into it. So it does have to be a little precise, but not quite as precise as some other characters' combos. I think this is a good intermediate level combo if you've moved past the beginning stuff. Okay, that's the first combo. Now you might ask, well, what if they're in the corner? What combo should I do? You should do this one. This is a little bit of extra damage, but it is simpler in that you don't have to wait at all. There is no delaying in this combo. This combo is do every special move as soon as possible. Every elbow in it is light except for the last one. The last elbow is fierce. Watch one more time. Light elbow, light elbow. Light elbow, light elbow. Light elbow, light elbow. Fierce elbow. Go. Okay, a little easier in my opinion because there's no delays in it. Damage is about the same. Now, there is another combo you can do. This is more for show. If you can master this combo, good for you. This is a 5-bar HD combo that will kill if you do have the chance to start it off with a jump in. Okay? Also, there is a very small thing with Andy. His close hard kick, you can combo it into forward A if you're point blank, and that actually does a little bit more damage than one hit of close C, but the range is somewhat strict. But if you can get that for your HD confirm like this, that does do a little bit more damage than the fierces, and that's what enables this combo to kill. Yes. Okay, so let's go over this just a little bit. This, you saw my input display. It's basically just a bunch of elbows drive canceled into each other. Let's do that one more time. Fierce EX, light EX, light EX. Oh, dropped it. Oh, can't be close fierce. It needs to be close hard kick. Okay, 1,000 damage. Everyone in the game has 1,000 life. Using the first two HD combos will be simple and useful for you. There are, of course, variations and other HD combos. Again, the purpose of these videos isn't so much to show you all the super hard, complicated stuff, just to give you a taste of some of the complicated stuff and just to show you the basics of the characters, okay? You're free to look for and use other HD combos, but the first two are ones that I would recommend a beginner start to learn, and then from there, they can branch out, okay? So I hope you learned a lot about Andy today. That does it for Andy, and next video should be coming in about a day or two.